it's ridiculous. It's the stereotype that all Christians are just Christians because their parents were, or because someone has mind control over them. That's ridiculous, and I don't believe that becoming an atheist would help anything. I would believe that it would simply darken your views, and I don't
Everything's
know.
so dark.
If the atheists on YouTube or anything like what most atheists are, then you would have just a general hate
Generalization.
for society as a whole.
Blanket everybody.
So that's my views on it. Comment back if somebody'd like to share their views. I'd love to hear something. I'd love to debate this more.
The debate, atheism versus theism debate, it's a show. It's what it is. An atheist is never going to be able to convince a really staunch theist about the error of his ways, because especially in Christianity, I think it mentions specifically in the New Testament, or is it in the Old Testament? No, it's the New Testament, because I didn't hear about this as a Jew. So it's in the New Testament that atheists are being fooled by Satan or something like that. So a real staunch Christian is never going to take an atheist seriously, because the Christian will think that the atheist is being manipulated by Satan. So the debate between atheism and theists here on YouTube, which I as well stumbled upon, had I known that I was going to become a part of it when I created my account, I wouldn't have attached 666 to the end of it, because it makes me look like a devil-worshipping prick. It was just filler at the time when I created my AOL Instant Messenger account years ago. It doesn't matter. And Revelations isn't in the Old Testament anyway, so it wasn't particularly blasphemous for me. It was just filler. Doesn't matter. One Less God's analogy, tiger and cow. I can see where he's going with it. He comes across as a bit harsh. That's his nature. He's not going to be able to convince any theists. He knows that. He's preaching to the choir. Somebody like Brett Keane has been traumatized. I don't know if he'll come out and admit it, but he's described his upbringing previously. He was seriously traumatized by his grandmother. He was forced to read the Bible for hours and hours on end every single day. He basically grew up like a Puritan in whatever state that he lives in. You would look at it now and you would call it abusive. So his lashing out stems from that. He's not going to be able to convince any Christians, real, hardcore Christians either. The debate between atheism and Christianity, specifically because there are more Christians in the U.S. than any other religion. But, atheism versus theism of any sort, it's a show. It's a show for people that are on the fence. It's a show for people who are questioning their faith. I think there were a few atheists here on YouTube that were actually born into a very secular, atheistic type of family, and they didn't inherit any religion from their parents. They're very few. Most of the atheists here on YouTube were Christians. Why are they so hostile towards, Christianity mostly, I think, but theism in general? Think about how you would feel if your family brought you up in a really weird cult, okay, made to believe some bizarre things and perform bizarre rituals, stuff like that. And then you come out of the cult because of education, deconditioning, right? How would you feel about that cult after that? Would you be angry? I know I sure as hell would. Being lied to for, the beginning section of my life. I don't know about you, but I do not like being lied to. That's where a lot of the anger comes from. It's about deconditioning is what it is. It's about broken trust. That creates the anger. That's what you're seeing. As far as thinking things darkly, I think you're misunderstanding. I don't think that you're in the right mindset to really understand what it's like. I think your Christianity is such a part of your identity that you're kind of putting a negative spin on people that aren't Christians. Just think a little bit more deeply about that. Where is this negative spin coming from? Are atheists really so dark and brooding and so hateful? Or is that my perception being colored by something else? Just think about that. What else? I don't think I have anything clever to add. I'll break it here. Let me watch the video again and I'll tag on anything at the end. Okay, you mentioned the blasphemy challenge too, which is interesting. The blasphemy challenge did two things. One, it was a way for atheists to come out of the closet, as it were, and because we don't really see each other on a daily basis. Only through this internet contact do we actually get to see that am I the only one, and then on the internet we can see that I'm not the only one who thinks this is a bunch of crap. Okay, so it's a what would you call it? Networking gives you it's a coming out of the closet type of thing. It's kind of a weight off your chest to be like, phew, I'm not the only one who thinks all these people are crazy. And secondly, I think it's meant to show that we really don't believe in it. To pick out the one section in the New Testament that is the so-called unforgivable sin, and then perform that action, because it looks so superficial to me. But if that book is right, then denying the existence of the Holy Spirit is the only unforgivable sin. Then it'll show everybody how serious somebody is. Yeah, that's it. It's about coming out of the closet, and it's about sincerity. That's what the blasphemy challenge was all about. Did it ruffle feathers? Sure. But I think, like all forms of civil disobedience, it was a harmless way to get attention, a non-violent way to get attention.